Okay, so let's talk about that Apple Watch Ultra. And I watch all these reviews on YouTube how it's going to kill Garmin, and that watch was dead on arrival, competing against Garmin for multi-sport endurance athletes. And I mean, people just talk about it like most of the reviews have absolutely no clue. And maybe they review tech and all that, but they're not endurance athletes, and they don't do Ironmans, they don't do anything like with touring, bike touring. I like the on the Apple commercial they show the person running through the desert, and I'm guessing they're doing the 251-mile 6-day marathon Sables or something like that in Sahara, in the Saharan desert in Morocco. But that watch, they say, has 36 hours, maybe 60 hours. GPS is maybe 12 hours. I don't know how much more than that it can be. But they're showing this person running in the desert, on a 6-day, 251 kilometers, 155-mile run through the desert with an Apple Watch. Yeah, right. Maybe they have a few of them charged up to last them that long. But anyway, that's just some of the things I saw. But most people say, oh, it's going to be a lot better than Garmin, than Suunto, Coros. But the Apple Watch, especially when it first came out, it has a few deadly flaws. That made it dead on arrival to compete with Garmin. And Garmin's been around for God knows how long. I used the first one. I think it was called the 101. Even had batteries in it, like regular batteries. But anyway, they know sports, and they know what athletes want. So the first thing that the Ultra, reading through the functions and the features of the watch, the first thing I see is that it has no sensor support other than the heart rate. And you talk to any multi-sport athlete, Ironman, they even say, oh, it can last through an Ironman. If you go to any Ironman, what you're going to see is everybody having a power meter on their bike. Okay, the Apple Watch is not compatible with power meters, so none of those people would actually buy an Apple Watch to replace their Garmin or Suunto or Coros or Polar. I only say Garmin because that's what I'm wearing right now, but I've used the other watches too, and they all function pretty similarly. I stick with Garmin because it covers all the bases. Some of the other ones don't have all the features that I want. But yeah, no power meter support. That watch is dead on arrival for most multi-sport athletes. It's just not gonna happen. No cadence support. That's about it. No radar, Varia radar. I think I have one on the back here on my bike. There it is. Okay, this tells me to my watch when the car approaches within about 140 meters or so. Okay, there's none of that with the Apple Watch Ultra. But nobody talks about that because they have no clue. Then the next thing that makes it dead on arrival is the no Ant Plus support. Okay, if anybody knows Ant Plus, you compare your watch. You have a power meter. You compare to multiple devices. Okay, the Apple Watch Ultra or the 8 or 7 or whichever Apple Watch has Bluetooth and Bluetooth only. Okay, now I'm sitting on this trainer biking indoors, and I'm sitting on my iPad here, and I have my power meter on my bike, my 4i power meter, and it's connected to the iPad. That's how I see my power, 164 watts, 165 watts, okay? But then I have it on my watch too, right here, okay? Because of Ant Plus. So now I can send data to Swift or any other online app, send my power data, but then also send it to my Garmin, and I get both. Okay, with the Apple Watch, you don't get any of that. Okay, that's dead on arrival for most people that do bike indoor rides, or any of those things where you need to have your power meter pair up with multiple devices. So basically I have to choose. If it had the sensor support, which it doesn't anyway, but if it had the sensor support, the Apple Watch would be sitting on my handlebar paired to my power meter. I can watch my power data, but then I can send it to the tablet, to my iPad, because it's already paired. Okay, and they don't have any that I know of. Maybe they have some brand new ones out that can send out dual Bluetooth, but not that I'm aware of. Plus, you need to buy a lot of other sensors, and those things are expensive. The power meter can set you back quite a bit of money. So, dead on arrival, no ANT plus. Okay, that's a big deal. Then we have the elephant in the room. I know it's a big deal for those people that buy Apple Watches, that the battery life has been extended, and but it's still measly. Okay, like I said, if you run any of those, like the Sahara Desert 6-day marathon, it's not going to be an Apple Watch. You zoom in on any of those people's wrists, and what you're going to see is a Polar, Garmin, Coros, or Sunto. Okay, there's no other watches that can compete with that. Okay, in fact, that Alexander Sokov, I think, the 24-hour record holder, he just broke the world record. Ran like a 7:15 mile for 24 hours. He ran, almost 200 miles, 198 miles. Okay, he wore, I think I was looking at his wrist, I think he wore a Polar. Okay, because it lasts that long. So no, the Apple Watch is not gonna, the Ultra is not gonna do any of that. Okay, it's a semi-sports watch, and I think it's gonna fit in where before Garmin begins or any of those other watches. Okay, so if you're not a newbie triathlete and you just want to kind of test out triathlon, so you don't want to buy a dedicated device like a Garmin. So I'm wearing the full FR 955, the Forerunner 955 Solar here. That's pretty much, I think it's the apex of sports watches, in my opinion. It's lightweight. It has all the features of the higher end guys. Mine has the little flashlight. But if you want to dabble in triathlon, it'll probably be the only one, and you'll never do another one. Yeah, the Apple Watch will do it. 3, 2, 1, get to start. Now with the Ultra, you got the action button, so you can press that, and you can start it. Okay, but if you decide to stay with it, you quickly find out that it lacks a lot of the features that you need or want in a triathlon. You don't really need anything for the triathlon, I guess. You can run it without a watch. They do the timing for you. They have timing chips. But if you want data and you want to dissect that data, you need a good dedicated device, And I know that the new Apple Watch has been improved quite a bit, and I still think it's the best smartwatch you can buy, bar none. Okay, there's nothing else you can buy out there that competes with the smartwatch features, if that's what you want. But I think that's also a flaw of it, because they did start with the watch being a smartwatch. So it has the nice AMOLED display, 2000 nits, okay, and then they tried to throw on it sports stuff. Okay, so now it's like designing a city around a car, but then you want to make it nice to walk around. But then you have all these parking spots. You don't have room. Okay, so they're trying to muscle in the sports stuff over the smartwatch features. Okay, all these other companies like Garmin, Coros, Sunto, and Polar, they started with a sports watch in mind. Okay, that watch was designed to do best when you're working out with it. Now when you don't scroll through the screens when you're sitting around, and it's nice and comfortable to the touch screen. They're designed to switch screens with the press of a button. You glance at it, you know exactly where you're at. The screens are designed in a way that you can focus quickly on the data you want, so you can adjust the, not just in a row, 4 down, you know, where you say which one's the distance, you know. You can say, hey, I have it at this angle, or at this angle I have it in a square, so you can quickly glance at the numbers. The other thing is, yeah, the Ultra has the AMOLED display, 2000 nits, very readable in the sunlight. But shoot, it uses a lot of battery to get that 2000 nits fired up. And with Garmin and any of these other watches, the high-end ones, other than the Epix 2, I guess, because that one's an AMOLED, they use a transreflective display. You point it at the sun, that thing just pops off the screen. You can read the numbers even better when it's in direct sunlight. Okay, so it saves battery and it's very readable. Okay, no flashes, no super colors, just the data you want quickly. Okay, the other thing that they're designed for is the button navigation. They have touch screens, but the button navigation is just so sublime and designed to navigate the watch, even during the hardest trail runs where you can just barely glance at the watch. I know when I press the button down, I know I'm going to have the next screen, and I know exactly where my data is going to be on that screen. Okay, lap button, right side, start, stop, up on the right side, you know. So it's very usable while you're exercising at 95% max. Okay, any watch, when they show you how it works, and you're sitting in a coffee shop and looking through the data screens, they're easy to navigate. No sweaty fingers, you know, no gloves on, so it's nice and pretty to look at. But when you're out on the in the field using that watch hard, that's where those sports watches come through, because you know they're designed for that. Hard to explain all the details of it, but I've used the Apple Watch and I haven't been impressed with it very much, mostly because of the 3-2-1. That was one of them, but I do like that they added the action button now. But then again, you only have so many things you can do with that action button. You can do a lap splits, or you can do a start stop. I don't know. What's the next thing? Oh, so we talked about the battery life. Yeah, so I mean, you're talking about the Enduro, the Garmin Enduro 2. It has like months, I think, month and a half of just usability without the solar. And then you have the Instinct 2 solar. Never have to charge it. Super readable in direct sunlight, compatible with N+, all the sensors, power sensors. It's $450. I like that it looks like a G-Shock too. But yeah, I don't think that's going to make it. The other thing, those sports watches, because they were designed as sports watches, they have a very cohesive feedback on health. Okay, you don't have to download different apps to search for and look through, you know, the maps and all that. It's all in one-stop shop. You know, you have all the health data, fitness, VO2, training effect, training stress score, load, intensity factor, functional threshold power, and everything else in between, all in that very cohesive ecosystem on the watch itself too. Okay, and that's a big deal. You know, the maps especially, you know, that's on the watch. You don't have to download anything else. Okay, so I think it's going to be hard to compete with the current generation of Apple Watch, at least, you know, with the watches that have been out there, like even the Coral Space too. That one is $200, and it's got absolutely all the features an athlete wants. Long battery life, compatibility with all the sensors, power sensors, cadence, radar for your bike. It's got the trans-reflective display, so it pops when you point it at the sun. It's only like $200 too, and I think it's probably one of the best values the watches out there. You know, it doesn't have maps, but their higher end counterpart does, like the Apex Pro and the Vertex. Now the Vertex 2, that's a whole different watch that I really liked it initially. It's a little big for my taste for doing triathlons or any of that. But really what turned me off on that one is also no Ant Plus support. So it made it kind of dead on arrival for me on that one. Again, because if I'm riding indoors like I'm doing now, I want the tablet and my watch to record the power data, not just one of them. And with the lower end courses, you can do that, but not with the Vertex 2. You know, it's kind of odd that they took the Ant Plus out. Again, let's see what's next. Well, the other thing that I think people don't even mention at all is the fact that Apple Watch, it's compatible only with the iPhone. So if you don't have an iPhone, which is I think in the US right now it's 50-50, and then the rest of the world is mostly Android anyway. But if you don't have an iPhone, you pretty much it's not even an option. So I don't know how they're gonna take over the sportswear market, the higher end one, you know, the Garmins and the Suntus of the world. But saying that, I think it's a step in the right direction. I do like the watch for just wearing it around. I like the size of it, 49 millimeters, very comfortable with that size. That wouldn't bother me at all. I love the watch bands. I think those are sick. They're just really high, what do you say? They're very high quality watch bands, and I would love to have one for my Garmin. You know, they're just awesome. I like the quality of Apple. I think they make awesome watches. But if you're on a smartwatch, I really don't. I would buy an iPhone and just go with the Apple Watch if that's what you want. And you're just a casual runner. You don't really care about the metrics as much, you know. And you know, the battery life, if you don't mind charging it, you know, being ready to be, I would charge it like every day because I want it to be ready, full on, you know. Like with this Garmin 955 that I have on solar, I charged it last Friday, so I have about 34 or 35% battery life, and I've worked out every single day, anywhere between an hour and maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours, mostly in GPS too. And I still have 35% left after, what's that, so full day Saturday. So I took it off the charger on Friday night. I slept with it fully loaded, 100%, and then so I woke up in the morning, and then I had Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and today's Thursday, and I still have about 34-35%. So I'm probably not going to charge it until tomorrow. You know, just it's probably not going to be below 20% either, but I'll charge it up because you never know what the weekend brings. Go for those long rides and stuff. Other features, but I mean, you just have to use it to really understand the difference. You know, like stopping activity, going in and having a coffee, and then restarting the same activity. You know, save for later, so you have a discontinuous workout. That's a beautiful feature. All the hot buttons, action buttons, you can assign to all the buttons or pairing of buttons, kind of like you do with the Apple Watch, where you press the action button and the side button to pause an activity. You have a lot of options with that. But I'm really curious to see how Apple improves on it over time, because again, I like it. I'm not much of an AMOLED display watch guy. It's too much like having a phone on your, which it is, but like a phone on your wrist. So yeah, I don't really care too much for the AMOLED display. I don't really like the Garmin Epics 2 either. People love it, you know, they like the screen and it's so colorful and all that. I like that Garmin still makes them, and all the other watch companies, with that transreflective display. It's just so nice. Plus, it doesn't look like you have a phone on your wrist. What else is there to say about the Apple Watch? You know, and so this is just from my point of view. Multi-sport, no scuba diving, so I don't know. I can't really rate it on that. You know, I don't know enough about it to do that. But as a multi-sport watch, that watch is it was dead on arrival. No matter how much they massage it during the keynote address, you know, they're still not gonna tackle the high-end sports watch market because of the flaws that I mentioned. You know, again, just go over them. No sensor support like power meters, cadence, radar. No ANT Plus support. That's a big deal. No, I think that's why I kind of moved away from Polar 2, mostly because of indoor riding. Again, I'm riding indoors. I want my watch, my power meter, to send the information to both my watch and the tablet. And having just Bluetooth, it doesn't. You know, maybe in the future when most power meters will have, double or triple Bluetooth broadcasting, maybe that would work. You know, but right now it's a no-go. Battery life, that's a no-go too. You know, 36, 60 hours, that's not going to cut it. You know, when you get up in the morning, you have to take your watch off the charger so you can start your Ironman. That's the only way you get a shot at it. You know, you can't fly to Kona or wherever you're going without the charger. What else is there? Again, the cohesive feedback, that was a big deal. All in one spot. You know, that's one of the things that we praise Apple for, is that cohesiveness of all their products. And everybody loved that. You know, Garmin has that cornered on the athlete market with all the health data and all that. You know, and they don't charge you for it. That's a big deal. You know, like Fitbit, they charge, and you can get, or Whoop too, and you can get all the data for free from Garmin. All the Whoop and Fitbit and all that stuff. You get more information than you need. I'm a physiologist by trade, exercise physiologist, so I like the data and all that. You know, and it gives me more data than I know what to do with, really. So much. I love it. You know, I still haven't found what to do with all that ground contact time that Apple just added to their watches. Garmin's, of course, has had it for a while. Vertical oscillation and all that stuff, you know. One cool thing that Polar is doing with that is that they can see how recovered your muscles are. You just do a jump and you can use the accelerometer in the watch to determine how recovered your muscles are, like for sprinting and weight training and things like that. That's pretty cool. And I think they can leverage, I think Apple can leverage that too, and all the other companies in their watches. You know, but the next thing, of course, is the compatibility issue. Again, you need to have an iPhone to actually make the Apple Watch work. Otherwise, it's just not going to happen. You know, yeah, you'll have to use something else, which is not bad. Again, but I am looking forward to see what the market's how it's gonna change in the future. You know, if Apple's gonna catch up, what they're gonna do. You know, how Garmin's gonna respond to all that. Price drop, maybe. I don't know. But right now, my feeling, if you're into the multi-sports, you're better off buying an older, previous generation Garmin, or even 2 generations back, and you get more bang for your buck in sports than you would with the new Apple Watch Ultra. A lot more, actually. Again, even the $200 Coros Space 2, or any of the Coroses, will offer you more sport-specific, usable sport-specific data, and the way you manage the data pages with either touchscreen or the buttons. It's more intuitive especially during workouts, hard workouts, you know. So I do like that. Of course, the other thing is, yeah, I love that Apple has added the dual GPS. Garmin did that with the Phoenix 7. I think they added that, and of course the Forerunner 955 have that also. The Vertex 2 has that. I think even the Garmin 255 has it. You know, so it's good that they actually put it in there. I think it offers a little more accuracy, although I've been really happy with the accuracy on my Garmin 955 Solar. It just almost doesn't even matter what GPS I use it in. But if you have any questions, you know, just post them in the comments and see if I can answer them. But again, I'm not an Apple hater. I really like. I'm using an iPad Pro right now, you know, and I love their products. But I get whatever gives me what I need for what I do, the best. And right now, the way the Apple Watch Ultra, the way they're billing it, and there's nothing wrong with it, but the way they're billing it, they're telling you that it's like an endurance watch, and it's not. It doesn't come close to what it needs to do to compete with those top dogs yet. Okay, that doesn't mean it won't in the future, but right now, as it stands, it's not going to do it. Now, if you want a smartwatch and you just wanted to, you know, do smartwatch features mostly, and then do sports on top of that, and you have access to a lot of sports, and you can just go out, go for your run, measure it. You know, not sure if you can download GPX files from it, and that's another big deal that I would want. You know, have access over my own information to upload it into a program and be able to ride that on my smart trainer. That's a big deal, you know. So if you're using I don't know if Apple Watch does that, the Ultra, you can upload the GPX files or the TSX or any of those exercise files, so you can export them out and download them into like something like an app like Ruby and ride that ride again. You know, I'm not sure if it does that, but anyway, let me know what you guys think about that. That's just I'm done with ranting about it. I just thought that all these reviewers that online posting all this stuff about how Apple Watch is going to kill Garmin, I don't think most of them even have a clue or ever use the Garmin or at its full capacity of what it needs to do. There's a few trusted reviewers out there that I really like, and I go to for the little detailed information, like DC Rainmaker. Awesome channel. I highly recommend that. Anytime you want to, if you're in sports and you want the best info, that's the channel to go to. There's Fit. That's another good channel, very good. And then I'll throw Chase the Summit in there too. He's been keeping up with it. I think he's mostly an ultra runner, but he covers a little bit of multi-sport stuff. And you know, for him, I think the Ultra Watch would be perfect. I mean, if you just charge it, wake up in the morning, go for your run, do your Ultra. I don't know, it probably won't last. I know I wouldn't last through an Ultra with the Ultra, like that play on words, with the Ultra Watch. I need something a little more beefy, so I think the Forerunner 955 gives me about 46 or 49 hours in GPS with the solar, 1 second, so it's full-on GPS. I think it goes to like 150 hours or more if you put it on that Ultra track, which pings the satellite like every minute or so, you know. So you lose a little bit of accuracy, well, quite a bit depending on how many turns you make and how fast you're moving. But it has that mode if you do like a, I don't know, continental divide or something, and you don't have time for a charger, you know, to charge your watch as often, but you just want to kind of know where you're at. I do like the maps on all these other watches. With the Apple Watch Pro, what I've seen, you can download maps, you know, but again, it's just not cohesive. It's all different apps that you have to use, and it works great because it's kind of like a phone. It is a miniature phone, you know. But right now, I'm sticking with the tried and true, the Garmin's of the world, and I think the Garmin's going to step it up even further. I do wish that they would do a cellular. They do have the LTE, but it's nothing close to what Apple or Samsung have out. No, I'm not even talking about Samsung. I don't think it's even for sports. Yeah, not even close. But it does have a cellular, so you can talk on the watch, and I like that. I really like that. And for those that want to pay an extra, you know, $15–20 a month to have that on their watch and not have to carry their phone with them, I think that's a great option. Personally, I don't, because I do carry my phone, especially when I bike. Just put it in my back pocket. You know, it's always there. So it's not too much of a bother. You know, when you run, that'll be nice. If I go for a short run, I don't want to take my phone with me. It would be nice to have a cellular, and that's where Apple Watch, I think it's your best bang for the buck. But anyway, let me know what you think in the comments, and I will leave it at that. If I said something wrong about it, you know, let me know. But so far, yeah, I don't think the Ultra is gonna cut it. Let's talk about something else. Been ranting about it for over 30 minutes already. Just have to get it off my chest. Okay, yeah, I got 10 miles in. That's nice. 180 watts. What are we averaging? About 163 average for the second lap. Anyway, thanks for watching. See you next time.